vlog again. Just can't wait to do a vlog again. The life I love is making vlogs for my friends, and I can't wait to do a vlog again. Doing a vlog again. Going places that I've never been. Seeing things that I may never see again. And I can't wait to do a vlog again. Hello everyone and welcome back to The Top Vloggers. As always, I am High and Mighty Joe. We are hanging out with the lovely cat right there. And we are in the city of Kokomo, Indiana, and we are headed to Indianapolis, Indiana. There are a lot of wonderful and beautiful things to see. So let's stop with the chit chat and get right to it. We'll see you there. There's a couple of helicopters right there. Kind of reminds me of home. It's almost like being back in LA again. Here's a super cool mural as we walk down this way. Now there is a bronze statue of Martin Luther King. That's neat. And there you go. Now there's a bronze statue of Martin Luther King and Bobby Kennedy from the waist down up here. I think you guys would really enjoy seeing. And an interesting little tale to go along with it. Now here is the playground equipment that they have at Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Park here in Indianapolis.
Salsa swing. Hey, then you go.
Well, now there it is, the bronze statue of Bobby Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr. stretching across this walkway. It's called the Landmark for Peace by Greg Perry, and it was dedicated in 1995. But it was near this spot that while campaigning for presidency in 1968, that Bobby Kennedy told a crowd of people that Martin Luther King Jr. had been shot and killed. And Bobby Kennedy himself was killed just 2 months later. And this is actually made out of resalvaged metal from guns that were melted down and turned in to the police department as part of a firearms amnesty program. And it's right here in Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Park. And it's just beautiful to see something like this. We can take a closer look. Take a closer look at Dr. King. Stretching out his hand. As you can see when you look at the detail they did a really good job on both of them. There's a little monument here. It says on April 4th, 1968, last day in the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Senator Robert F. Kennedy spoke these words. Martin Luther King dedicated his life to love and to justice for his fellow human beings. And he died because of that effort. In this difficult day, in this difficult time for the United States, it is perhaps well to ask what kind of nation we are and what direction we want to move in. For those of you who are black, considering the evidence, there evidently is that there were white people who were responsible. You can be filled with bitterness, with hatred, and a desire for revenge. We can move in that direction as a country in great polarization. Black people amongst blacks, white people amongst whites, filled with hatred towards one another. Or we can make an effort, as Martin Luther King did, to understand and comprehend and to replace the violence that stained the bloodshed that has spread across our land, with an effort to understand with compassion and love. For those of you who are black and are tempted to be filled with hatred and distrust at the injustice of such an act against all white people, I can only say that I feel in my own heart the same kind of feeling. I had a member of my family killed, but he was killed by a white man. But we have to make an effort in the United States. We have to make an effort to understand, to go beyond these rather difficult times. My favorite poet was Aeschylus, and he wrote, "In our sleep, pain which cannot forget falls, drop by drop, upon the heart until our own despair. Against our will comes wisdom through the awful grace of God." What we need in the United States is not division. What we need in the United States is not hatred. What we need in the United States is not violence or lawlessness, but love and wisdom, and compassion towards one another, and a feeling of justice towards those who still suffer within our country, whether they be white or whether they be black. We've had difficult times in the past, and we will have difficult times in the future. It is not the end of the violence. It is not the end of lawlessness. It is not the end of disorder. But the vast majority of white people and the vast majority of black people in this country want to live together. They want to improve the quality of our life, and they want justice for all human beings who abide in our land. Let us dedicate ourselves to what the Greeks wrote so many years ago, to tame the savageness of man and to make gentle the life of this world. Let us dedicate ourselves to that and say a prayer for our country and for our people. Those were the words that was spoken by Senator Robert Kennedy on that day. And that is freedom.
6,000-pound abstract man hoists an I-beam overhead, dangling a plumb bob. His head is an aircraft warning beacon. His lunchbox is nearby.
And there you can see the beacon for his head lighting up. His lunchbox right there on the ground next to him. Some really cool murals right here. And of course, the one and only Martin Luther King. Einstein down there in the corner as well, Mother Teresa. But definitely the man of the vlog right here, Mr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was a great man who did great things. He's missed by all. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I always enjoy bringing them to you. If you'd like to support this channel, don't forget to check us out at patreon.com/thetopvloggers. We're also on social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Top Vloggers. And I think that's going to do it for us here today. In Indianapolis, Indiana, join us next week. Until then, Top Vloggers!